And we are back for another week of Thrive Thursday. I don't know what it is. Like, I take up two-thirds of the screen.
I'm like, here I am.
Okay, all right.
I'm here. See?
This has always been a problem. Am I more in it? Okay, good.
Hey, hope you've had a great week. And can I just say one thing? I am so excited for football season.
She doesn't, she not lying about that. She really is. The other night, when did you realize it was football season?
A couple of days ago, I knew, that we were
About
in
soon to start.
preseason. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that. I didn't realize how close I was to the real thing. And so tonight is the first game, and I am excited. I don't like every team, but tonight should be pretty
What is it?
interesting.
The Ravens
If,
and the Chiefs?
yes,
Hmm.
and I want the Ravens to win. I like Lamar.
Yeah,
So,
I would say the same
you
thing.
too?
I
Yeah,
really hate they didn't make it last year, last
yeah,
season.
yeah.
But I believe this is going to be their season. Fun fact about us, she's the sports fan.
I don't like baseball. It's too slow, but yeah.
Basketball,
Basketball,
college
and
ball,
I'm
uh,
not as
Colorado Buffs, and NFL.
well, he likes Colorado. I'm not as versed on college football as I am with the NFL. It's just too many teams. Yeah,
Did I say college ball for you?
yeah.
I didn't mean college football. I
Oh,
meant like
okay.
college ball, basketball.
March Madness,
That's what I meant, March Madness.
March Madness, and then
And she's been like this since I've ever known her. She grew up a Cowboys fan. Let me tell you something, and we're gonna get into tonight. Tonight, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, three things you need to know to reach destiny. Part two. We gave you one last week. We're gonna give you two more this week.
if you did not watch last week,
Go find it.
go find it. It
Scroll
was
back.
so good, if I do say so myself.
It was very impromptu. So good that we did only
Very
got through one
practical,
thing.
but I think we all need to be reminded of just what God has placed in us all. And I
Right.
leave it right there.
So I gave a fun fact about us.
Yeah.
Here's a fact about when I was in seminary in Dallas. Um, Dallas are Dallas fans are just, I mean, people get tattoos.
Yeah.
I mean, like one guy has this star on his head, and
I'm not, now, I am a realistic Cowboy fan. Like, I understand
if
that
you call 8 t-shirts and 13 hats
yeah, but
realistic,
I'm not the kind of think like every year we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not in denial.
sweatshirts.
I do understand. Anyway, what about us?
On to my story. I go to this church, I'm recently to Dallas, and I've heard a lot about this one church, and I'm thinking I'm going to the main service, but there were a lot of empty seats. And when the pastor gets finished preaching, I see this, they start communing. It was the first Sunday. So I see another minister, someone leader walks up to him and he whispers in his ear, no big deal. That happens, pastors. When the commune was over, the pastor said, the Cowboys are up. The score is 17-4.
Well, that's not a real number, but
It's not a real number, but it's a real example. Dallas Cowboys are fans are just, yeah, what one to.
I don't even know what you. I'm still stuck on four. Like,
All right.
anyway.
So for tonight, I'm Jasper. This is Alicia. We are the Williams, and we are your Thrive coaches. Again, we're talking about things that you know, three things you need to know to reach destiny. Part two. All right. So do you remember last week's first point?
Focus, 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 focus.
Lock and load. In order for you to reach destiny, whatever you think your destiny is, lock and load. You don't do what is not directly involved with that. Let me tell you.
I don't want to preach it or teach
Okay.
it. So
All
yeah.
right. All right. Uh, one. Here's one thought. So I would always buy different platforms and software. This will be better. This will make this better. And it wasn't until my
You
wife
would?
told I used to.
Oh,
Come on now. Didn't you say you want to make this long? You want to repreach it?
I was just surprised you said
Okay,
would.
all right. As I was saying, as in I would, it was an active, like I made purchases.
Mm.
Listen, what about this? You interrupting me in
Go
my
ahead.
story is thriving.
You were past tense. Carry on.
I would go.
Go ahead. You would do the. Go ahead. He still does it. Go ahead.
Never mind. So focus. You won't let me. All right. So one way in which you meet, I cannot let you win.
Go ahead. I said go.
No, because if I go ahead, that means you won.
Okay, don't go ahead.
You still win. All right. When I stopped buying different things, different platforms, making subscriptions and all this other kind of stuff, it's like noise kind of went away. And my point, it started to go away. And my point is simply when you stop doing what is not a part of your destiny and you focus on it. Some stuff we have to do for a husband, a wife, or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever it is, kid stuff, cook. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about you woodworking, you binging on Netflix, you are those kinds of things. I don't know if are you about to
Yeah.
challenge me?
Well, I'm about to challenge you only because I was thinking about, and I know we've got to get to the second point, but some of those things are needed to just unplug. That's not what you're
No, I
implying,
said
right?
binge.
Binge, okay.
And you have to be a wife and you have to be a husband.
Yes,
You need, I mean, if you respect whatever kind of relationship it is that you're
sure.
in, if you have kids. So
All right, tell me this then. Do you feel like, and congrats to you, you are pursuing your doctorate and you are now doing your class work. You have been diligent in your writing and reading. Do you feel like this is a part of your destiny?
yes, 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 yeah, and amen.
Were you able to, does that mean that you were outside of your destiny or purpose a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because you didn't pursue it?
Thank you for the entree in 2.2
Oh,
and three
really?
things. See, she doesn't know what
No,
we're
I
going to
don't,
talk
because
about.
I like to,
This is how we gel.
yeah, I really like
This, well, in this particular one.
to not, for us to not practice. I want it to be
Well,
authentic.
but you knew nothing
No, I
about it
didn't.
last week or this week.
No.
You couldn't review my
So
notes because you can't read
so
them.
what's the second point?
All right, so here it is. The second point is your call. The way in which one of the two things in way you get and you reach destiny. We talked about focus last week. The second one is your call. What are you called to do? What are you called to do? So now, as you bring up my doctoral pursuit, I've always known that I wanted a doctorate.
He's talked about that our whole marriage. Yes.
Yep. Believe in education.
Mhm.
My father believed and promoted education, had the opportunity to get as much education as I wanted. And then even before I could start my doctorate, when I was with my father at Salem, we started the church. There goes time and opportunity. But there was this one thing that would continue to churn, kind of burn. I could feel on the inside of me, and that was a doctrine. I continued to shelve it because it always felt like the wrong time. And since we made this switch and we're no longer pastoring traditionally, it has opened up some opportunity and some time. And that call that was once there is still there. And it began to yell at me from the sidelines.
Were you outside of the will of God the
No,
other decades?
no, it was timing.
So speak to the person who's in your shoes. Speak to the person who has had that inkling, that desire to be, you fill in the blank. You know what it is that continues to whisper and call for you. You dream about it, but you're like, yeah, but I have to. Speak to that person.
Timing is everything. Timing is everything. When I look back on it, if I had started a doctoral degree anytime before now, something would have failed or
Mm,
broken or suffered.
mm,
So let's think about it. If I had started when we had young kids, so when we started the church, Quad was one, soon to turn two.
mhm.
Jordan then was 5, 6,
Yes.
6. And I mean, as young parents, and then we put our kids in a school way north because we thought we were going to sell the house, and then we started driving 1,000, 1,200 miles per week. And so if I started then, it would have been too soon. Something would have suffered, something would have broken. It wouldn't have been the right time.
What was internally? Did you feel like you were denying yourself? Did you,
No,
you knew it?
I knew what.
You knew it was not the right time. So the
I can't
desires,
say that either.
okay.
I would talk about it.
I'm trying to help
Yeah,
someone.
I know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
doing. And this is helpful. We would try. I would continue to think about it. I'd hear other people
Mm.
getting their doctorates or even pursuing higher education, graduate level studies. And I think about, man, I would want a doctorate. I had it prophesied to me at the top of when we started the church by Dr. Mark Pollard. He says, I see you getting your doctoral degree.
Really?
I said,
I
Doc, there's no
remember
way in the
that.
world. We were sitting in Mama's 4569. We were sitting in her den. And remember when he was there, they were thinking about buying the house?
Can we just put a
Is
parenthesis
this
right
going to be
there?
a part three?
Maybe so. Because can I say there are some prophetic words that you've got to hold on to for
Talk, sister.
years,
Yeah, you're right.
and some people believe, well, it did not come to pass in a week, or they can't know what they're talking about because it's been a year. Some prophetic words, it takes time.
I need a pen. Um,
You want me to go here? Let me see. Oh, I
yeah.
don't have a pen. Okay.
Would you
Anyway.
grab one for
All
me
right.
while I talk about this? Um, God keeps alive destiny, and you cannot separate your destiny from your call. Now, you can fail at reaching destiny because practically we just mentioned you don't focus. That was point one. Or part two, you ignore what God has called you to do and God called you to be. And if you ignore your calling, then you are deferring your destiny and you can actually end up in a place that you really don't want to be or don't have to be.
But looking back, it's not that you were being disobedient. That's what I'm hearing. You were not saying, no, God, I don't want to do it this way. There was still this internal knowing it wasn't time yet, but that does not dismiss the call to pursue a doctorate. Am I saying that correctly?
You are saying that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that correctly. And so when I start talking about timing, does that now make a little bit more sense?
Yeah, yeah. So, in other words, wherever you are on your trek to pursuing your destiny, if there's this calling that continues to burn inside, don't give up on it. Maybe it will come to pass. Wow, what's that? 25 years later. It's been 25 years, right? When you
Probably even
graduated.
longer than that, because when I was in seminary, yeah,
Yeah.
you 25 for yeah,
But
approximately.
wait a minute. And then your call has become more specified. You wouldn't have
Oh,
you, and I know you
hey,
can't speak to that yet, but
what you talking about?
like you haven't had your dissertation approved or anything like that, but the what you are wanting to study and research, you wouldn't have thought about that back then. You see what I mean?
Because life wouldn't have happened like the
Yeah.
way it's happened back then. So this is what I was thinking. Do you remember one topic that I wanted to do my D-Min in?
Yeah.
What?
Spiritual warfare.
Yes.
Hmm.
That was when we first started understanding spiritual warfare
Hmm.
principles. I started growing in my authority. What was once, well, let me just say, I didn't understand my authority prior. So as I'm growing, becoming a son of God, I'm like, I think I want to do my D-Min in spiritual warfare. It would have been a huge undertaking and specific area. And then of course something else happened and it kind of either I don't remember every time either it would float away, like the feeling of or the thought of it would kind of diminish, or I'd get a check in my heart. That ain't it.
Here's what I want to hammer on, and I will continue to do so until we end our time together today. If you have this urge, if you have this desire, don't shut it off. Don't shut it off. Don't shut it off. Even if you can't do anything about it right now. at least watch this, at least bless it.
You gotta explain that one to
At
me.
least say, you know what? Let me just use let me just use my husband. So he if he were to say, you know what, right now I'm a church planner, I'm a father,
Oh,
I'm a husband, but I know what's on the inside of me, and there is a desire, a deep desire, a longing to get my doctorate. I bless that, and I know I can't have that yet, but I still bless that and say it is good. That's just giving yourself dignity to
mhm.
dream. It's giving yourself dignity to pursue your destiny.
That is really good because sometimes we can think that our call is beyond our yes. Like,
Unpack that. Our
God, you want me to do what?
okay.
There's absolutely no way. And
Hmm.
it can work both sides. So I'm thinking about there are two, but think about Hosea.
Yep.
Hosea is this prophet, and God says, Hosea, I want you to go marry Gomer, who is a prostitute.
Yep.
Hosea's like, what, me? A prostitute? God, don't you know I'm a prophet? Of course, God knew he was a prophet. But Hosea couldn't see his call. Hosea was limiting his call to a sense of a moral woman that would make him a good wife, or someone of pedigree nature, or a little young farm girl, whatever his greater metric was for a wife to be. But he knew God, he knew God's voice, he knew what God was telling him to do, and did not want to do it. Wow. And since he did not want to do it, God laid on him a little bit. Hosea, all right, well, okay, I'll go do it. The whole reason was because God was trying to get Hosea to identify with himself, with God himself. Because after Hosea says yes, and that story progresses, Hosea didn't really get it, but he had fallen in love with Gomer, and then she gets put up on the auction block. And Hosea goes down and he buys her off the auction block. Anybody hearing the story of Calvary and the cross? And when he does it, God's saying, Hosea, this is what I called you to do. This is why I told you to go and marry this woman. Because Hosea, that's how I feel about Israel. She's pursued other gods. She's pursued other gods and asked them for their blessing. And so if Hosea had never turned his no to a yes, he would have missed his destiny. So that's sometimes we get a no to our call, which ends up leading us into destiny. Can you think of one where someone said yes and they moved into destiny?
Someone said yes. I mean, of course I can say Jesus. That's easy.
Yeah, that's easy. I
Um,
got an unseemingly one. If you
who said yes to their call? Mm, man, go ahead, because I don't want to keep people
okay, all right.
waiting.
So how about Rahab?
Okay.
She's in Jericho.
Well, she bartered though.
What?
She
But
said
you know
yes,
what?
but she was like, but you got to do,
That's exactly right.
yeah.
And she knew something.
Come on, knowing the word. I'm just proud of myself. Go ahead. Go read the story right here. Go ahead.
I'll give you the punchline.
Yeah,
She was in Jesus's lineage.
absolutely.
So her bartering, even what she didn't even realize she was bartering with, was a part of her destiny. Why do you look at me in that blank face?
I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with it.
A call.
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted me to explain a call, and then I think maybe we could end here because we can't give him the third one.
No.
All right. Abraham
Wait,
had
don't give another biblical.
I'm not.
Okay,
This is what
okay.
was on paper.
All right, go ahead. But then I need to make it practical. I need
Did I
someone
not
to.
ask her if I should go ahead?
Yeah, you did. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, tell me. You got the floor.
Here's what I
Speaking to the mic.
powers. What are some call indicators? If you were to look back, and again, you can tell we don't have any notes because we do want this to be a
No, I got
dialogue.
some notes. You just
Mhm.
don't know what they are. Mine are just 2 or 3 points. We
Indicate.
can't lie to the people.
Okay. We didn't have indications of calling. That's what I mean.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But wait,
What are some indicators of a calling when it comes to a person?
do you have
Because
one?
I think when people think calling, they think behind a podium. And a calling isn't just that. You can be called to teach. You can be called to be a mother. You can be called to be a nurse, called to be a firefighter. What are some indicators? I think just off the cuff, I would say something that you just know that you were. I put some
Okay.
supplements in there, so it's gonna taste a little weird.
Mm.
You know that I just told, didn't I tell him?
I thought it was other stuff. That
I
about
said
choked me.
I said I put supplements in
She
there.
got some vodka in
No,
here. It's
don't.
clear. Is the vodka your tequila? Tell the people.
Oregano oil is in here because it helps you stay well. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what were we talking about? Okay, you know that is something that you um feel led to do. That's what I would say. A call you feel led to do. You feel called to, you're like drawn to it.
Okay.
What would you say? What is an indicator of a call?
I was going to use an example, but it fits exactly with your principle,
Yeah,
and that's our son Quad.
that's true.
So I've always wondered, so are the kids going to be in ministry?
Mhm.
I really didn't necessarily want them to be. I'd have been proud if they did. You know, when you start seeing how ministry is, it can be really rough. And for that, you have to even be called
Mhm.
and if you're not, then it's a whole different story. But our son Quad is going to be a pediatric surgeon.
By faith, amen.
And Quad knows he's he loves kids. So there's an indicator right there.
That is true. So every summer he works as on the leadership team at a camp.
Even when he was younger at
Yeah.
church in Sunday
Oh,
school,
he would
remember, he
volunteer.
would always volunteer with the kids. And as he's gotten older, that was the first time he applied for to be a camp counselor because he wanted to work with kids. And now for the second year, he's been the director of the camp for kids. And he's been saying he wants to be a pediatric surgeon now, what, since high school, 10th, 11th grade? That's a call.
He says,
And
I
that has
love,
become his ministry. That is going
yeah,
to be it's his ministry now with kids. And that is a huge pulpit
yeah,
that is not on Sunday morning or Wednesday night.
right. I was just going to say, and he also add to that, he says, I love working with my hands.
Yep, yep. And how about the Legos?
Yeah. He grew up, he liked looking at problems, putting Legos together, dissecting, creating.
And he
Yeah.
was creative with how he did it.
Hmm.
Tell me about what you bought him last year.
Oh, so last year, he had a tough finals, and wanted to just give him something to get his mind off of studying, and so went to the Lego store and got him one of those big Lego sets. He told me that was one of the best presents he's had in a long time. He said there was so much joy that he got from sitting there for 2, 3 hours putting that Lego set together.
Are you seeing some of the indicators? Now, Quad has not walked into his destiny yet, but I would bet my last dollar that his a part of his call or his destiny and his call would be doing something with his hands, doing something with
True.
kids, and doing something with a big smile on your face. Even your character or your personality, your makeup has a lot to do with your call.
So are you living in your call? Are you walking in your calling? Are you on the road to discovering what your calling is? We bless you to pursue it. We bless you to walk in divine destiny, not human destiny, not what your parents have told you, but what God has wonderfully and artistically designed you to be.
Yep. I think I wore the right shirt. This is prophetic. I'm just out here trusting God. In order for you to walk in destiny, you gotta trust God. That feel right. That's our exit. God bless you. We hope that you got something. If you made it this far, why don't you drop something in that comment? Maybe one of the takeaways are. Go ahead.
No, please, I won't forget.
That's a period. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
I was going to say, do us a favor. We want to grow our YouTube channel. We want to continue to provide content to not just address your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, but your spiritual well-being also. Maybe you don't consider us your pastors, but you can clearly see we love God and we have solutions for you to get to the next level in your life. So all the information should be provided below. Hit that notification button. We are here each week, and hit the like button. Tell people about us.
Any reason why you didn't say we want to grow our Facebook following?
I don't know,
You just said YouTube.
because I thought this was only going to be on
Ah,
YouTube.
maybe we can link it on Facebook.
We
That might
to
be.
YouTube. That's what I thought we were doing. I don't do that part. That is not my
We
calling.
want to grow our Facebook. Bye bye. We love y'all. We'll see you later. I'll see you on Monday,
Monday.
Mental Health Monday.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your emotions. It's for men and women, especially for those that find themselves stressed out and not thinking, not being yourself.
For our tribe, we love you. Thank you for all your support. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All right, night night. We'll see you later.